Okay, so hello there, firstly. And now it's the 21-man squad review. So it should be really good. And we've got a very strong one today, including having Yusuf Aydin back in. Whether he'll play is another thing, but you can never predict this or guaranteed. Well, I did do that last season, but you know what I mean. So, let's start from the bottom to the top with last week's debutant. Starting alongside Ryan Hall in the left centre position, Corey Hall. Corey, best of his performance last week, his debut, can't say a bad thing about him. He tackled Hurrell like it was nothing, and Hurrell usually storms through everyone. So that says something for me. He's a good player, can't knock his effort. He certainly seems like a good player. But that's obviously basing it off one singular game. So that's quite impossible to say whether he's good or not. Next up is Yusuf Aydin, yet to make his debut. Spent the last couple of weeks on loan at Featherstone. And according to his mum, that's really helped him out, that loan. So let's hope he'll show that if he does get played. Next up is Sam Luckley. I've said this since he joined. Sam's gone under the radar. He's not been noticed as much as, your George Kings, or your Jesse Sues, or your James Batchelors. But he's worked his absolute arse off this week, just like he does every week, and I'm sure he'll get into the squad. The next man, Sam Wood, comes in for Louis Senior, who did not play last week. It's nice to see Woody back in after his slight little hamstring problem. So let's hope he makes it into the squad. If he does, we'll have a weird squad again. Because if you didn't see the squad last week, we had Sean Cannydale playing as the right winger. Dean Hadley. Like I mentioned in my last video, Dean Hadley. Actually, I don't know if he uploaded that one, I can't remember. But Dean Hadley signed a 2-year extension, which is good. Nice to see him extending. I had a listen to the interview and it was good to hear what Peter's point of view was. And yeah, seems good. Glad to have him sign on for another 2 years. Mikey Lewis. He couldn't be going much better at the moment. He's doing really well. Even getting the England call-up, same as Jez and Jordan. Next up, Jimmy Carnos, yet to appear this season. Good player, but I have a feeling he's leaving us at the end of the year. I've just got a feeling. It's not a feeling I like to have about Jimmy, because I like Jimmy. He's a good player, but can't help but feel like he's going to leave at the end of the year. Matty Staunton. I say this every week, but my personal favourite. I hope he gets in, which he should. Compared to, for the props this week, we've got King, Reese, Matty, Sam and Yusuf. So yeah, he should get in realistically, but you never know. But yes, after Matty, there's Batchelor returning from his suspension, which is good to have Batch back. There he is, look in that picture. Good to have that man back. He always puts the work in. His ban was never worth a ban. Not in a million years for me. I don't know what he's supposed to do in the situation he was in. Next up's Reese Kennedy. He had a really poor game last week, but I'm not one for criticising. You can have good weeks and bad weeks, but let's hope he has more good than bad. We're only 10 weeks into the season though, so that's not terrible. And then my next upload will probably be my round 10 review as well, where I review all 10 of the rounds so far. It's probably like a 20-minute video, I'm hoping for that one. Jez Litton, another one who said got the England call-up. Glad for him. Scored his first try last week against St Helens. Really good to see for him. But yeah, good player. Can't knock him either. Sorry, that was my Alexa. Alright, next up you got Elliot Minchella. Another one, you just can't get enough of his work rate. He tries so hard, which you should when you're playing at the top level of English rugby. It's just amazing. Next up is Kane Lynette. You never don't find this guy putting the effort in. He's just such a good player for us. But yeah, I could see Batchelor slotting in second row. And then Dino on the bench is what I'm thinking. As there's no Frankie Alton, as I'm just seeing. Georgie King in there as well. He never stops working whenever he's on that pitch. Same with Parcell. Jordan's bombs need to be poor up against Castleford. The fullback's not the greatest at catching, so well, hopefully. Next up we've got Hawley. Love Hawley. He's amazing. He never do I know I say this about every player, but he stands out every week. He's just amazing. Same with the captain, Sean Kenny Dowell. Didn't realise I could do that. Anyway, let me just leave that. Next up is Matt Parcell. Let me just turn the brightness up a little bit. Matt Parcell, amazing. Like Abdul, and then Hawley. Just forgot where it was there. Kenny Dowell never doesn't try. He's the captain. He leads by example. And that's what you want from your captain. Tom Opachik, the only consistent player on that right edge. Only missed one game this year. Can't remember who that was against. Might have been, I don't know actually. Nathan Ryan, who's not played first team since round 3. So I don't know what's up with that. But he might get in this week, you never know. And then you've got the vice captain, Lachlan Coote. Last couple of weeks he's been excellent as Cootie. You can't fault him. Next up after this, it's also on the squad I would make out of that. So at fullback, and usually I've set this entirely up. So fullback I've got Lachlan Coote. On the wing I have got, surprisingly, Sam Wood. In that centre position next to what I've got SKD. The other centre I have got Corey Hall because of his debut. I've got Ryan Hall. On the wing in the halves I've got Jordan Abdul and Mikey Lewis. In starting prop I've got George King. In hooker I've got Matt Parcell, who got 2 assists last week by the way. And then let me just check out the 21 man, just make sure. The other starting prop I would have as Sam Luckley. In the second row, James Batchelor. In the other second row, I've got Kane Lynette. And at loose forward, I've got Elliot Minchella. And on the bench, I've got Jez Litton, Reese Kennedy, Matty Staunton, and well, let me just decide the last spot on my bench. Then the final spot on that bench goes to Dean Hadley. And then the 18th man from me goes to Jimmy Kynehorst. So that is my squad in full. Let me just read it. Lachlan Coote on fullback. On the wings, Ryan Hall and Sam Wood. Centres, Sean Kenny Dowell and Corey Hall. Halves, Jordan Abdul and Mikey Lewis. Props, George King and Sam Luckley. Hooker, Matt Parcell. In the second rows, I have got James Batchelor and Kane Lynette. At loose, I've got Elliot Minchella. On the bench, I have got Jez Litton, Reese Kennedy, Matty Staunton and Dean Hadley. 18th man, I've got Jimmy Kynehorst. That is my squad in full. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and